how many people, before I get started, have any idea what crowdfunding is? Raise your hand. That's a good number, because I speak all over the world, and typically about 1 out of 20 people raise their hand and know what it is. You're going to learn over the next 30 minutes or so while I'm talking that this is a $5 billion industry already, and people have no idea what it is. But it's an amazing opportunity for anyone in business or anyone who is trying to raise money for a business, entrepreneurs, existing businesses, what have you, to use some new tools that I'm going to explain to you to learn how to raise money. Everybody needs money for something. Everybody in every business needs money for something. What we're going to learn tonight is how to use crowdfunding to raise that money. Now, first of all, let me tell you a little bit. Let's see, make sure I got the right button here. This is me. When I was 3 years old, I still have that suit and that hat. I don't wear them in public as much anymore. They're a little tight. But just to give you a little history, I was named the 17th most influential person in the crowdfunding industry by a company called VentureBeat, which led me to the question, are there actually even 18 people in this industry? I have no idea. But I do have 25 years of experience as an attorney helping people start businesses and grow businesses. And I got interested in crowdfunding when it got to the point where about 6 or 7 years ago, it became very hard for a small business to raise money, to get loans from a bank to start a business. And when banks stopped lending money to people, I was looking for a way to help my clients and help people raise money to start their businesses. And that's when I learned about crowdfunding, which we're going to talk about. I also write for a business called Entrepreneur Magazine, which some of you may have heard of. I'm the crowdfunding columnist for it. And I've been quoted and interviewed in just about every major United States publication on crowdfunding, which simply means people think I know a lot about something that nobody else knows about. So it's kind of a cool thing to be able to tell people about it. What is crowdfunding? Let's start with the very basics. Crowdfunding is simply getting money for anything, to start a business, to launch a product into the market, for a charity, for a personal need, for anything, by going on the internet, going to a crowdfunding website and asking the crowd, asking people to give you small amounts of money to make up a large amount of money. Anybody who's ever been to a church before knows that they'll pass around a hat or a collection plate, right? That's crowdfunding, right? It's not something new. Mozart, the famous composer, used to do shows. He would go and do his piano concertos for small audiences, and then he would sell the music sheets to individual people in the audience to raise money to do his bigger concerts. That's crowdfunding, getting small amounts of money from a large number of people to raise a large amount of money to do something. What I'm going to talk about is how it's revolutionized the funding world on the internet. Because now, you're on a beautiful island. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Shireen. I want to thank everyone who brought me here today from EFactor to this beautiful island, along with my partner, Tess. You have about 100,000 people that live on this island. And that's a lot of people. But with the internet, you can get to billions of people to get funding. You don't have to get your money from your neighborhood here. You don't have to get it from the island here. You don't have to get it from the Caribbean area. You get it from all over the world when you crowdfund, because what you're putting out on the internet asking for money can go to anybody. And that's the magic of crowdfunding.
Like a beggar then.
You could call yourself a beggar. And you would say, okay, I'm begging for money to start my business, but if you don't ask people for money, where are you going to get the money to start your business? Can you get it from a bank? Can you find investors? Can you get people to come in and give you $100,000 that are friends of yours that you know? If you can do any of those things, you don't need crowdfunding. All right? I guarantee you, out of the 100 or so people in this room, 99 of you couldn't raise $100,000 tomorrow from your friends, your family to start a business, but you could go on a crowdfunding site and raise the money. Let me show you how it all works. First of all, as I said, it was a $5 billion industry in 2013 and a $7 billion industry worldwide in 2014, and yet most of you have never even heard of it. That's what's so fascinating about it. It's kind of a big deal. That's a map showing all over the world. 160 countries now use crowdfunding. There are 500 new crowdfunding projects per day, and every one of those red dots is a place that has done crowdfunding in the past year. There's two kinds of crowdfunding, and I'm going to explain to you the difference between the two because they're very often confused, but they're very, very different, and it's very important to understand how they work. The first one is called rewards-based crowdfunding, and I'll explain what that means to you. Rewards-based crowdfunding is when you go on a website and you raise money for whatever you're raising money for, and you give away a reward, a perk, something of value to the people, but you don't give away any of the equity in your company. So let me give you an example. Let's say I wanted to raise $100,000 and I was opening up a pizza parlor. You could go on a crowdfunding site and say, I'm going to give away to anybody who gives me $25 a $50 gift certificate at my restaurant when I open it that you can use to buy pizza, pasta, whatever you want to at my new pizza restaurant that I open. You give me $25 today. When I get to $100,000, I'm going to open up my restaurant. You can come in and use that coupon, and you can get food for the coupon that I give you. That's an example of crowdfunding. You raise the money, you open the restaurant, people come back and use that reward that you gave them to get something of value. Now here's the big difference. You're not giving away any ownership in your pizza parlor. You may have raised $100,000 from a bunch of people. You gave them a pizza, you gave them some food, you gave them something of value, but you didn't give away a single piece of equity, a single share of stock, any ownership in your company when you raise that money. That's the difference between rewards-based crowdfunding and every other kind of money you raise in the world to start a business other than a loan. There's two main sites across the country, across the world, I should say, that do rewards-based crowdfunding, one of which you don't really have in Aruba. You can see it, but you're not allowed to use it. That's Kickstarter. And then Indiegogo is the other site that you can use in Aruba that is rewards-based crowdfunding. Kickstarter alone has raised over $1.5 billion for people through crowdfunding without giving away a single bit of equity in a company. 1.5 billion. Yes?
Quick question. Why can't you use Kickstarter and Aruba?
Well, you can use it. You can donate to it. But Kickstarter doesn't. You can donate and you can get rewards from it. But Kickstarter has rules that for whatever reason they go country by country and only allow certain people to start projects. There's a secret to get around it. I'll tell you what it is. But they actually have a little pull-down menu and Aruba's not on it. Now, you can do the project, just don't do it in Aruba. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but there are ways to get around it. On the other hand, Indiegogo lets you just pull down and start right up. This is the story that got me involved in crowdfunding to begin with, and I'd like to explain. This was the first crowdfunding project I ever heard about. I read about it in the paper. This is a $10,000 watch. This is a Breitling. It's a Bentley model. I did not buy this at your new Breitling store up on the Strip. I got it out of a suitcase at the Curacao airport. Some guy had it, a little shady-looking guy, for 25 bucks. But that's a $10,000 watch. Now, I'm going to show you a $10 million watch. I'm holding it up. This is it. Not quite as shiny. Looks like it came out of that same suitcase, right? This is the $10 million watch, the Pebble watch. 4 years ago, the people who invented this watch went on Kickstarter and tried to raise $100,000 to manufacture a watch that they only had a prototype of. They had never built the watch. It didn't operate yet. They had built a prototype. And they said, we need to raise $100,000 to manufacture this watch so we can sell it to people later. They raised $10 million US and pre-sold 68,000 of these watches before they had ever even made one. Now, if you're like me, when I first heard of this, I said, wait, people paid money for something that doesn't exist and they didn't get a piece of the company in return? That's crowdfunding. It's like magic when it works. These people raised $10 million, have manufactured this watch. It's available everywhere now. You can get it on the internet, you can get it in stores, you can get it wherever you want. But this watch didn't exist when they raised the money. All these people gave away was the right to get one of these sent to them 6 months after the money was sent to them on this campaign. And they raised over $10 million doing it. How easy is it to start a crowdfunding campaign? Let me just show you. This is a form from Indiegogo, their website. You literally go on the website and you figure out, is it a personal need? Is it a creative need? Is it an entrepreneurial need? How much money do I want to raise? I put in $50,000. What for? I'm going to open up the best Italian restaurant in Aruba. Create my campaign. You click a button, and then you just fill out some more forms. It's not that difficult to create a campaign online. It's made very simple so that anyone can do it. Now, I'm going to show you a video because one of the things that's very important about crowdfunding, when you go to a crowdfunding site and you're trying to decide if you want to give money to someone, it's not like watching me pitch you. I'm not sitting here going, this is the greatest thing in the world. You're going to want to put money in this. You have to do this. This is the greatest thing. Give me $100 and I'm going to give you an... It's not like that at all. Every crowdfunding campaign that's successful, some don't have it, but everyone that's successful has a video. And that's because the internet, people love watching videos. People love watching videos on their phone. People love watching videos on the internet. Videos are what make crowdfunding unique. So you get your sales pitch online through a video on every crowdfunding site. And I'm going to show you an example. This is about a 3-minute video, but it's great.
That's the sound of a cooler coming down off the shelf. It's the sound of imminent fun. So why haven't cooler design